So if I could ask Chloe, who is Bobby's daughter, Chloe, if you could come up here, I need your help, if you don't mind. So Chloe, if you could hold this, because we have another presentation for your dad, and that's an important one. I'm emotional. This is hugely meaningful to me because my experience at boarding school changed my life. And without a doubt, that's why Sarah and I are here. It's because of the power of this school. Not every school is like Fountain Valley. Not every school has a committed and a dedicated alumni and faculty and board of trustees like Fountain Valley. And tonight, I'm equally proud tonight, Bobby, to present you with your long overdue Fountain Valley School diploma. Because in everything academia, you need to answer the why behind the what. Yeah. And Bobby, first and foremost, you're a loving husband to Natasha. You're a devoted father to Monet and Chloe, and a loyal friend to your classmates from of compassion, of curiosity, of self-reliance, and open-mindedness. And for this, I am honored to grant you with this diploma on behalf of the Fountain Valley School faculty and board of trustees and myself.
Tom.
Okay. Well, first off, deep, raspy voice. I actually have spent the last 50 years singing in the tenor register. I just recently found that I have the baritone register to fall back on as the tenor register starts to go. Anyway, prepared a few remarks. First off, I guess we all miss John Barlow here tonight. And, I will bring back with me to him, I'll be seeing him in a day or two. I'll bring back with him y'all's best wishes and more, because this place is good for more, as I'll get into in a minute. Now, how I got here, in the late 50s, early 60s, I attended a prestigious West Coast school in the shadow of Hoover Tower. My parents had high expectations, but a penchant for finding entertaining mischief ended me a robust recommendation to investigate an institution that word had it featured a somewhat more progressive approach and a more bohemian cast about it. What I found here. This was my first extended stay away from home, and I was a bit homesick. But I found some friends. I found a place to sort of hang my hat on the football field. Though it took a little work, the first game we played, the coach didn't put me in. By the end of the season, the coach wouldn't take me out. So I learned how to work with guys. And now it's guys and girls, but I learned how to, I learned a bunch about teamwork on the football field here. We were undefeated. We had a good team. I understand it got better after I left, but wish I could have been part of that, but I was part of another team at that time. And on the football field, I met the water boy, a kid who didn't want to go out for sports. I just don't think he had that in him. He didn't have the fire in the belly for football or track or baseball or wrestling or whatever. He had some flimsy excuse about having a heart murmur. Well, he's still with us, though he's not here tonight. Anyway, we became fast friends, and that lasted for a long time, has lasted for a long time. I found more creative mischief to in all kinds of new places and formats while I was here, and that led to my eventual dismissal, basically. But, as has been pointed out, if that had not occurred, I wouldn't have found the people that I next fell in with, which became my calling. I was ready for that when I left here anyway. Now, as I recall, a number of our upperclassmen were less than captivated by my modest efforts at providing amusement for our august assemblage. And though I rarely got lumped up, the suggestion of that often hung in the air. At which times, in my recollection, you guys were hard to find. I don't hold it against you, believe me. But I found that I could enjoy learning here. That was one thing that I really credit this place for. It could have just been my stage of development, it was going to happen to me in those years, or it could have been instructors like F. Martin Brown, under whose auspices my grades in biology, a subject I originally had limited interest in, went from barely passing to actually pretty good. I discovered I could create. Again, it could have been my neurological development, or it could have been Chuck Emery, in whose class I went. In whose class I learned to love language, what it sounded like when used right, and what it could do to me, and what I could do with it. And I discovered I could create music. Once again, it could have been my spiritual development, or it could have been Ernest Kitson, who would invite me, to his quarters in the hacienda and play classical music for me and invite my observations, as well as pointing out the certain grace and beauty displayed by the Air Force jets flying in formation over our heads. And then inviting me to contrast that with the swallows darting in and out of the eaves just above us. Without actually saying as much, Mr. Kitson brought me to the understanding that music was a respectable pursuit and profession. A little understanding that previously no one had seemed to want me to come to. In the end, I guess I was just a bit too rambunctious for an institution that needed to preserve some semblance of order. I have no qualms in saying that the boot was the only move on the board for FVS. And perhaps the best thing, more than perhaps the best thing that ever happened to me, is I was pretty much on my path when I left here. I found that path here. That's what this place is all about.